The Sailor's Night Before Christmas, written by Kimbra, Cutlip, illustrated, of course, by James Rice. The Sailor's Night Before Christmas. Pelican Publishing Company. How appropriate. 'Twas the night before Christmas on Fisherman's Bay, and the wind she wore calm, like she had been all day. The sails they were stowed, and the sea wore like glass, but the red sky that morn told me it wouldn't last. The young'uns were snoring, whistling and sleeping, dreaming of porpoises, dancing and leaping. The captain had dogged all the hatches down tight, and swashed down the last of the chowder in sight. He grumbled out, "Arg," as he blew out the light, and I, the first mate, took me watch for the night. With me sights firmly trained on the stars in the sky, I might have just blinked with me only good eye, when, shiver me timbers, the wind took a swing and raged from the north like a fierce howling thing. I sprang up the rigging to better me view. With me sight glass in hand, I could see whar she blew. Thar, like a whale coming full to the breach, I saw the sea break, and I heard the wind screech. As a wave crashed down on us, I squinted to see 8 giant sea horses haul a tug from the sea. I let go my grip on the tarry old mast and nearly fell over the rail in the blast. Aye, now, me matey, I knows what you're thinking, but I'd barely been nodding and I sure warn't drinking. Wiping salt from my eyes, I rechecked again. There'd be no mistaking, this warn't just a wind. Me mammy, she told me of just such a night, and old Cap'n Claus who come hunting at night. Chock full of glittering chandlery toys, that wee tug she blew her foghorn over the noise. The wind called each seahorse by name like it knew, while the wave they were surfing headed straight for our crew. Yo trawler, yo schooner, yo cutter and clipper, ho bosun, ho coxswain, ho matey and skipper. From the decks up the mast to the bowsprit they played, and our vessel she rocked port to starboard unstayed. In a blink of the queer squall came abrupt to a halt, and thar on our deck came to rest the old salt. I ducked down below, my head spun around, and thar through the hatch came old Claus with a bound. He smelled like a tide gone too long from the shore, and he stood in the cabin dripping over the floor. Red tailcoat, red kerchief, black boots and black belt, and thar in his pocket sleeping minnows and smelt. With his big rounded belly he stood soaking wet, and rolled from his shoulder a fisherman's net, stuffed full of treasures I'd never seen before, and toys for young lads, the ship's cat, and more. The old man wore swift as attended his duty, stuffing our dirty bags full up with booty. His loaded heeled the boat way over to one side, and I laughed just to meet a sea captain so wide. His face, it shone like the skin of a fish. Then he grumbled past me, "Arg, make me a wish." The smoke from his pipe filled the boat like a cloud, and I followed, I'm coughing and hacking out loud. Straight to the galley, I swaggered headstrong for a swig of our coffee and a biscuit and song. Through his matted white beard chortled a tune, something about lists he'd been checking since noon. And certain he'd done what he'd come here to do, he downed the last cup, nodded once, and we're through. With a wink and a grumble and a puff of his pipe, he bound out the hatch straight into the night. Toot toots of his horn, and those seahorses jolted. To windward his tug and its cargo, they bolted. But I heard him holler as he sailed out of sight. Yo ho ho, and a tide full of Yule. Merry Christmas, you lubbers. Have yourself a good night.